Prater and the Ballgame are counting down the days to the start of Boise State football's fall camp, August 3rd.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
7 of the hottest topics on Bronco football. Countdown to camp on Sports Radio 95.3, The Ticket. This is the next to the last, number 6 out of 7. Bob Behler sitting in for Johnny Ballgame all week today. And, Mike Prater alongside. Mike, our camp countdown question today. Is J.L. Skinner's senior season going to live up to the hype? Decided to stay, passed up the NFL for the time being. I think that was a good decision.
Yeah.
And is it going to be as good as he and everybody else wants?
Does anything ever live up to the hype, the way we hype things up, not just around here, but everywhere these days? By the way, it's the first day of camp. Well, the first day of camp week. Camp opens on Wednesday. 3 hours of press conferences today. Who approved Johnny Ballgame to leave as Boise State's opening camp? Who approved that vacation request?
Well, that would be me, Prater, and maybe I think he's sitting on a beach somewhere.
Well, I don't care where he is, but first of all, how much of a commitment does he have to Boise State football, this vandal of ours, if he's taking off vacation, his only week of vacation for the entire summer? I've been out goofing around all summer long, and I'm here for the first day of fall camp. Where's Ballgame?
That's a good question. Should I text him?
No.
Find out where he's at?
No, you're the boss. Why did you approve him to leave?
Well, because Johnny has been grinding. He hasn't taken much vacation.
No,
I think
not.
he took like 1 day off for a high school graduation earlier this year, and that's it. So I thought, you know what?
I'm just curious about the timing.
And then you and Bob take so much vacation in the last 2 months. I had to, wait.
Yeah.
I had to wait for you guys to get back.
That's a bad excuse. Although I do love working with Bob. So looking forward to this week. And you and I already tackled 3 hours of press conferences today. That would have been a lot more difficult with Johnny. I would have had to wrangle him up. He'd have been out in the hallway talking to somebody. He would have got lost in a bathroom. He's out there in the hallway taking a picture of a Fiesta Bowl trophy to send to one of his Vandal buddies. Bob, it was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to the week. And let's dive back into J.L. Skinner.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's funny. He had, 92 tackles last year?
Yep.
Led the team.
Minus a couple of halves.
Well, yeah. I mean, he missed 2 full halves for targeting. So if he can stay on the field and not get targeting penalties, what do you think?
100?
Another 8 between that plus whatever he missed in the half that he got ejected. No, but in all seriousness, I think he's going to be a huge playmaker. But if this defense is better, like everybody thinks it's going to be, I think it's going to be much like Shakir. His tackle numbers might go down because if the guys in the front line and the guys at linebacker are doing a better job and making more tackles, he could be even better player than he was, but the numbers might not show it, at least tackle-wise.
Yeah, they've even taken his running mate, Tyreek Jones, and moved him down into the nickel position. So there's going to be a different kind of a safety out there. They've got depth on this defense, and they're kind of mixing and matching and moving players around. This segment, as you talked about, though, is J.L. Skinner, and he had one heck of a summer in terms of the hype. He had some name, image, and likeness opportunities all summer. He's showing up on all kinds of early draft boards for 2023. J.L. Skinner has a future as a National Football League player. He is the most promising National Football League talent on this team. So the hype is out there. We can't even debate that. The hype is out there. He was really, really good last year. I worried about a guy like that in terms of just being focused. When that big carrot, the NFL, is out there looming and millions of dollars, you worry about a kid being focused. But we're going to hear from a couple of coaches here, Danielson and Kane Ione, and talking about his focus, his commitment to this football team. It matches the hype so far. Mm-hmm. And if he's putting in the work and he's showing the focus and he's doing that in the summertime, I can't wait to see what he does in the fall, and I can't wait to see what he does this season.
Let's hear from defensive coordinator Spencer Danielson first. And the theme that he went right to, he loves Skinner and says it's about competing with himself.
It's competing with himself. It's JL. This is where you need to grow. This is from a stance to a key to a disguise to a finish, and we've been with him all the way from January to now. JL, this is about you. This is about the things that you need to grow to be the elite guy that you want to be, because he wants to. Now it's all right, JL. This is how you truly compete with yourself. These are the things you need to grow. And so from obviously all the way from the start of summer to now, he's been working on those things. And all the way from fall camp 1 to when we're finished, we're going to be on him about competing with himself to grow these areas he needs to. And if he does, he's going to put himself in a great situation.
And I thought that was a great way to put it because he's really good right now. But for this season to be all that he wants it to be, it's about him. It's about him doing the work.
Yep.
It's about him looking at the film to understand what the defenses are doing. He's the guy that's going to take himself to the next level. And as you pointed out, Prater, focus is a key word. Competing with yourself, a lot of that is about focus because the way to compete with yourself better is to grind and do what you need to do.
And it sounds like that's exactly what this guy's doing. And I don't know, that's what he's been doing at Boise State for a long time. They've always said really nice things about him. We know he's a great physical talent, but in terms of doing the intangibles off the field and away from the field and getting yourself ready, this Boise State coaching staff has always said really nice things about J.L. Skinner. You have to check a lot of boxes if you want to be a first, second, third round draft in the NFL. And I think he's got that kind of potential. He's got the body size. He checks a lot of boxes for what they're looking at the next level. It's just about putting it together between the years and going out and having the kind of season that we expect him to have.
6'4", 220.
Woo!
That comes off the bus looking really nice.
He is a good-looking athlete.
Kane Ione is his position coach, and we also had a chance to ask him what his expectations were for Skinner this season.
The sky's the limit for JL, and I think why he came back was because he knew he has unfinished business here, and really from the standpoint of the team. He's a team guy that wants to make sure that he leaves a great legacy for not only our room, the secondary, but this entire program. And he wants to walk out of here with another Mountain West championship. And I know we're all on that same page. That's what's on the wall for all of our players. But JL is totally wants to make sure that that's how he leaves his place. From the individual standpoint, there's so many things that we can continue to improve upon from the standpoint of just the small little details within his position, opening up his eyes to even the bigger picture of things from a schematic standpoint, little techniques, things that he can continue to work on and get better. And when those things come into play for him, and when he starts to consistently put those things on display, which I know he can, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch because he's already proven to be the playmaker. He's proven to be a guy that sets the standard for us in a lot of different ways, from just how he plays the game, how he competes. But now you add just some of these little details and some little bit more technique and polish some things from a pre-snap standpoint. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is.
And hearing from both coaches, Prater, I think they believe that he is going to do the fine little things, the polish, the things that make somebody from being very good to great. And I think he's got a couple guys in his corner, Skinner, that really think that he can take it to the next level.
Couple of interceptions last year, 3 pass deflections, 3 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles. This guy not only was making tackles at an all-career level last year. I mean, he went from 37 the year before to 92 total tackles last year. That's a significant upgrade. And then all the playmaking stats as well. With that kind of trajectory, I fully expect the original question for this segment was, will J.L. Skinner live up to the season hype, the offseason hype that he's had? And if he doubles that or even increases that production from last year, absolutely. And there's no reason to believe that he's not. He's healthy. I think he's smarter about the targeting issues. I think he's going to be on the field an awful lot. He seems motivated. He seems smart. He's checking all the boxes. And sometimes you forget that he's a great football player, but he's turning into this great playmaker as well. I mean, putting up stats, almost every defensive stat you can make, he did it last year. J.L. Skinner, I think, is going to have a monster year.
And I think, as I said, I think he's going to be helped out. Maybe the number of tackles will go down, but I think he's going to be helped out by a number of better players around him on the defensive side of the ball. I think that this defense is going to be significantly better as a group, and I think he's going to reap some of the benefits of that as well.
If things go well for him, and I know we're just kind of projecting, I mean, do you see him working his way into a first-round draft pick? Based on his body, based on his template. The NFL always starts with that template, your body and what you do. I think there's a chance, or maybe I'm out of my mind a little bit here.
No, I think that he's in the door. When you are 6'4", 220, and you're as athletic as he is, I'm not saying he will be, but he's not dismissed. Most of the time in the NFL, if you don't measure up to a certain size, weight, strength, etc., you're out no matter how good of a player you are. So no, I think he's still in the room when they're looking, if he has the kind of year that people are projecting.
It'd be fun to watch. And it's kind of weird how that whole position is, because right behind him is Alex Tubner. And we confirmed today that Alex Tubner will play behind him. And Alex Tubner moves around, and they loved Alex Tubner last year. When JL Skinner went out with some targeting penalties. Alex Tubner came in, and the coaches loved what he did. But they're really just, so different of a player, so different of a physical specimen. It's going to be very interesting to see how much time Tubner gets or how much time he spends at maybe another position, because I want to see a lot of JL Skinner this year. I want to see a ton of that dude play football.
And I think you will. And I think the numbers that are going to go up, I think, are the FF, the FR, and the interception.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones that I think if he can become more of a ball hawk and more of a playmaker from where he is, I think those are the numbers that maybe, instead of 2s and 3s, maybe 3s, 4s, and 5s in those categories.
So we need to work on his focus. And so we're going to play a little game here, Bob, because we need to ground him just a little bit, because we just talked a lot of hype. He had 2 interceptions last year, so I'm asking you a trivia question. In those 2 interceptions, how many yards did he gain?
The best way you're saying it, 0 probably.
-1.
Okay.
Come on, I need to see some productive. -1, 2 interceptions.
And Tyreek LaBeouf had more than 1, but on 1 he had 100 yards. So come on, get with the program, right?
Exactly. Come on, man.
Well, wasn't he the guy that picked up the loose ball against Oklahoma State and ran it? Wasn't that him?
Yes.
That if the whistle doesn't blow, maybe he has some.
Never know. Thanks for bringing that up, Bob.
No, I think he's in for a big year. I think there's a lot of guys in from a big year.
Yep.
I think that they're just, I don't know. When you hear about the coaches talk about year 1 to year 2, don't you think that there is a much more confident vibe coming out of everybody's mouth this year over there this time than there was last year?
Yeah, last year was just getting to know so many different people with the coaching change and everything else. So there is no doubt that this football team has been embarrassed. This football team is taking 5 losses seriously. This football team has done a lot this offseason. But right now it's just talk. And for the next month, it will continue to be talk. We won't know for another 33 days. But yeah, there was definitely a different vibe down there today. And we're going to hear from Andy Avalos in exactly 1 hour.
And we'll hear our last question, camp countdown question, tomorrow, the day before camp starts.
There you go.
You'll want to be with us for that. Make sure you have the new KTIK app by updating your phone's app store. Get access to every interview or episode of Idaho Sports Talk. You can stream us anytime from wherever you are. Plus, listen to the daily Bronco Focus segments and more. It's available on your schedule on your app at KTIK.com. When we come back, maybe the biggest news of the day, the NFL has seen the arbiter come down with the punishment for Deshaun Watson. We'll tell you how much it is and whether they may or may not want to appeal it. That is the league. That's next on Sports Radio, The Ticket.